pyramids, I would take a couple.
Yes.
Make her in the video, she's asleep. Make sure you get her. Can see her? Hand side. I like him the most. He's my favorite boy in the dynasty because of what he did. The architects told him, the engineers, Your Majesty, we're going to make for you the biggest pyramid and the greatest ever. Why? Because the first pyramid was experimentation, was experience. So they said we master the art of using rocks. I respect my father. Make my pyramid a little bit smaller than my father. So the first pyramid, remember the height? 149 meters, let's say 800 feet. That second pyramid was supposed to have been 143. So he missed the height by 3 meters. But you want to see something funny? Look at that. This is the Great Pyramid, that's 149 meters. The second pyramid is only 43. So 143 versus 149, definitely it's smaller. But not when you put it in a higher plateau. So he was so clever, he put it, his kingdom was so prosperous, and it was so stable, and he was so powerful, and he had what it takes. So he started building that very first classic pyramid. This pyramid, original height was 149 meters high 5,000 years ago. But after the thousands of years of erosion, rains and storms and you name it, we lost the apex. So it's 139. We lost like 10 meters of the height.
Wow.
That pyramid was the tallest man-made structure in the whole wide world for 3,800 years.
Wow.
That's why it was ranked as #1 of the oldest 7 wonders of the world, and still the only one that still survives. Can you imagine the rocks in this pyramid? They look small from a distance, but this is an eye deception. When you see Adrian walking next to the pyramid, if Adrian got close to the pyramid, remember when he was there? The rock was 10 times as big as me and Adrian. Why? Because the closer you get, you see the real thing. Guess how many rocks in that pyramid that you touch? 2.3 million rocks.
Wow.
And the smallest was estimated to have been only 2.5 tons. Can you imagine?
How long did it take?
2.3 million rocks.
How long did it take to
And the
complete?
smallest is 2.5 tons.
And that's the first, that was the first pyramid.
Yes, ma'am. It took them 21 years to build that pyramid.
Okay.
Can you imagine 21 years to do the math please, 2.3 million times 2.5 tons, that's 5,000 pounds.
Wow.
Only in one pyramid. To the left hand side is cubes. Now look, which one is the highest, the first or the second?
The sun.
You see? So he was so clever in doing this. It is, the first pyramid is the tallest pyramid, literally, but also literally the second pyramid is the highest.
Right.
If you tell someone this, he wouldn't understand. But now that you are in here and you can see that the foundation of the second pyramid is higher, the base is higher, you know why. Now that third one is the one that's done by the last king in this area. After him, the kings left the city and went far away. You see where I'm pointing?
Yeah.
Behind that pyramid, to the right hand side, you can see pyramids far, far away.
Oh,
tiny
I
one.
see them.
These are in Saqqara, my friend.
All the way there, it's like, you know,
You see?
15
Tiny ones.
kilometers away.
By the song Macarena. And the second one, the middle one, is key, like a key for Papa. He just did it to maintain the reign, the kingdom.
Okay. He's
Against the
obligated to
generals
do
that
it.
were taken, yeah. So he wanted to make a big thing. Be able to show you, they are visible from there. Now you might wonder, before you ask, why do they marry more than one wife? See, ladies, they're concerned about this. First, sometimes his wife passes away, but most of the time is not the case. Kings used to marry more than one wife to have a lot of boys, to help them in the reign and to be the crown prince.
Yeah.
Perhaps the greatest in that. Inside all the pyramids, you should know, inside all these pyramids and all the 105 pyramids is completely solid. There is nothing solid, but it has 3 rooms. Never 4 rooms, never 5 rooms, only 3 rooms. Room number 1 is where they put the 7 elements, which I'm going to explain for you at the Institute. To get to eternal life, you must have 7 requirements. Because this is the angle of stability. What do you mean the angle of stability? The architects have actually made experimentation to see why 51.4. And the experimentation was to get 10 big sacks of flour, sugar, sand, starch, and the 10 different materials. You poke it and you put it in the ground steadily, it will make a pile, right? And they took the average angle in all the 10 different materials, and it was amazingly 51.5. So the gravity does the job. That's you can go higher, but it's gonna fall down. The magic spot is special because that's the place where you can get the view really nice. People here have a good shot, but not as good as the one that you get to. So all the pyramids were made from limestone, and limestone comes from 17 kilometers southeast of Cairo. If you look between the pyramids, you can see that the houses continue all the way to the tall buildings.
Yeah.
Those tall buildings are right on the bank of the river Nile. And after them, from the back, a little bit hazy and diluted, you can see a mountain there, like a mountain sign.
Yeah.
That's the quarry where they get the limestone.
Wow.
Limestone is good for, it's got like maybe 80 different types. Some of them are good around water. Water is not going to destroy them. Some of them are good and soft for the casing. Some of them are strong enough for the foundation. Some of them are good enough to be for the coloring of the outside.
Interesting.
But limestone is the best they chose because it lives that much. All the pyramids that you see were built in the same timing, within 52 years, from 2560 until 52 years after. Cheops, Khafre, and Mithraeus, roughly. When you look at the pyramids, you notice that they are triangular. They have 4 triangles. The base of any pyramid is square. As a matter of fact, it's perfect square. And the historians and archaeologists were so deluded. How come they made it that perfect? And facing the 4 cardinal points at the same time. Simply because they built the ribs of the pyramid, the side of every pyramid, parallel to the longitudes and latitudes of Earth. And then you can't go wrong.
No,
If you notice, all the pyramids are facing the same 4 directions: north, east, south, and west. We are on the west side right now. The other side of the city, that's the east.
Okay.
Heading with the car directly, that's the north, where the wind blows. And behind the van is south. All the pyramids also have the same inclination angle. If you notice, they are not crooked. It's always the same angle. Especially in your pictures, you can see that. Why is that? Because they followed elements for eternity. Room number 2 is where they put the valuables, like the gold and the precious stones. And you know, the Egyptian gold enjoys a great reputation in the world and the Middle East. In Egypt, we start with 18 karat gold, 21, 23, 24. But the Egyptian ladies, including my wife and daughters, they know better. 21, 23, 24 is too soft. You will lose it in 5 years of use. But 18 looks more brighter and it's cheaper and it's very solid. That's the catch, and that's why Egyptians use. So the crown of the king, the scepter of ruling, all the jewelry of the king, they go to the second room. Room number 3 is where they put the belongings. Like in the collection of Tutankhamun, we found his shoes, his slippers, his underwear, yeah, his socks, his gloves, his chariots and chairs and chesses and boxes of jewelry, everything. So room number 3 is where they put the belongings. So 3 rooms in every single pyramid. The big room is usually 9.5 or 10 meters tall, 6 meters wide, and 5.5 meters high. It's big inside this solid heart of the pyramid. It's big enough to put the sarcophagus and to work around them. While pyramids were only for the kings, that pyramid shape is only for the kings. On your left hand side, you see these remains, these rocks. It's what we call a mastaba. You see the little van there?
Okay.
Can you tell how big the mastaba is next to it? Mastaba is a rectangular tomb that's about 20 meters tall, 10 meters wide, and 7 meters high. This is the tomb for the non-royals, the family consort of Cheops. They're decreasing the lifetime of the pyramid. Those are the 3 others, but one of them only can be seen at the pyramid, and the 2 other ones, they are not really in good shape anymore because of the erosion. So 3 queen pyramids here, 3 queen pyramids there, that's 6. And the 3 big ones, a total of 9 pyramids. If it makes a big difference, honestly, there used to be 11. 2 of them were next to the middle pyramid, but we lost them, they eroded away. Now, we are heading to the Valley Temple, and the Sphinx is on your right hand side. You see that big ball right there? It's the head of the Sphinx from the back. I intend to make a special stop for you so that you can have a good commanding view where the Sphinx is at the front, and you can see the 9 pyramids all together, and the Valley Temple as a closure of this visit right here. But keep filming to have a good look at the Sphinx on your right hand side, so on the right hand side. It's going to be next to you. You will notice the face coming out, And the profile is missing the nose. You see that?
Yeah.
And I'll tell you why, because people believe that Napoleon and other people broke the nose, which is not a true story, to be honest with you. I'll tell you the real thing.
Okay.
The Sphinx and what it is what I'm going to tell you right there, right quick. In the culture of ancient Egyptians until today, what is the Sphinx for them? And why was it made right here? And why is it the biggest one in Egypt as well? So you see that view? This is a turnaround, a very good video around the Sphinx, so I thought that's better for you to keep something like this. We will make a simple stop in a place which is not busy. Same magnificent view of the Sphinx from a higher commanding view as well. So you ready for that? We're gonna leave the car in a few seconds. We're getting there. And it's very close by to go and visit safely and come back without the sand and the things like that.
Hi.
Yeah. Princess. Wow.
Eric, love to see
This
this.
is our last stop. Please pardon me if I made you tired. So this is my favorite spot for my favorite guests. Because every presentation, I'm not going to explain here. I will explain as we get to the institute. But let me tell you what is the Sphinx. Here you have it. You've got 3 little pyramids over there by the magic spot with the horsey running right there. And 3 little pyramids here by the big pyramid of Cheops. And then Cheops, Khephren, Mykrinus. Cheops, Khephren, and Mykrinus. The landscape is very clear. You can see something out of place. It looks like out of place, which is the Sphinx right there. What is the Sphinx? Actually, in the culture of ancient Egyptians, the Sphinx is the physical shape of Ra, the god of the sun. That's the sun disk. But when he's realized as a creature, he looks like that. What is the Sphinx? The Sphinx is a physical shape of Ra that's a protector. The Sphinx is the bodyguard of this area over here. So if you need a bodyguard, definitely you want one with big muscles, strong, and you need him to be smart and quick reactions. So they have 2 things in one. A combination of lion's body. The lion is the king of the jungle in most countries. He's the sign of strength and courage. And the man's head, the sign of wisdom, because man controls all the beasts. So wisdom and strength. The size of that Sphinx right there is magnificent, but we'll talk about this also. If I am your bodyguard first, where would I stand to do my job? Right there? No, I'll be right here, facing your fears and enemies. I will be, between you and anything that happens. That's why he's this way, and the pyramids are on the back. Some people ask me, Muhammad, but he could have been on the other side. That's true, but the sun rises from me. That's east, and he's the physical shape of Ra. 2. This Sphinx is the biggest and the oldest Sphinx ever in Egypt. Although we have 2,000, 3,000, maybe 4,000 Sphinxes. Some of them are even still in the warehouses. Some of them are small, some of them are big. All of them are the same thing. A human body, a human face, and the lion's body. Any human face? No. In that case, it was built by Khephren, who built the second pyramid, the good boy to his father. So he put his own face. And because it's so famous, it was taken by the antiquary and by the Egyptian treasury to be the picture on our 100 pounds, the most common used one. The biggest one is 200, but this is the one we use a lot. So that is the Sphinx that you see right there. That's the very one. Okay, another question is, Muhammad, is the Sphinx male or female? Because it looks like a female. This one is a male, but the Sphinx can be both, a male or a female. If it's the Sphinx of Kimi, so it's Kimi's face and the lion's body. If it's the Sphinx of Muhammad or Mike, so it's my face and the lion's body. Nefertiti, Cleopatra, Tutankhamun. You get it? So if it's the king, he put his own face to say, that's my power protecting that place. So it could be a male or female, but this one is a male, and it's a 51 meter long from the back of the lion, the tail, to the pose in the front. 21 meters high. Okay, 51, that means 160 feet tall, and about 63 feet high from the chest on the ground up to the forehead that you see over there. When you look at the face of the Sphinx, he's wearing something. That's why people think it's a female. He's wearing the Nemes headdress. Nemes is actually a translation of the mongoose. You know that little animal?
Yeah.
And you know the quality of the mongoose? You know why the mongoose are so different than foxes and other things? Because the greatest royal cobra in the world would never beat the mongoose in a battle. You get it? And since when you see the Egyptian kings and statues you must have seen in the cruise and so, cobras everywhere. Why? The cobra is the protective goddess of the delta. He likes the bushes and the water and all that, so it's the symbol of the delta. And it protects the king. But hey, you protect me, but I'm stronger. I'm the mongoose. You get that? Okay, so that's why. It was stripped. Red, black, white, red, black, white. And later I'll tell you why. Remember that. For now, the Egyptian flag that you see everywhere is black, white, and red. Why? Black is earth, Kemet, that fertile land of Egypt, good for agriculture, for cotton, for wheat, and that's why Alexander came here to continue to Persia. White is the air and freshness and life, you and I, and then red is the power representation of Ra, the god of the sun. So red for the sun, white for life and air, and black for the good soil and so. So when you look at the Sphinx, you find there is ruins in the front. This is the Valley Temple. That's the temple where they started the mummification process. And then they make the mummy here in 40 days of physical process, like embalming of the body. You see that white causeway? That's a connection between what used to be the beautiful temple here and another temple east of the pyramid. Between the two temples, 40 days of physical process in this one and 30 days of spiritual process on the other one. And the spiritual process is to cast the spells of happiness, eternal life, and so on. And when it's completely done, mummification lasted for 70 days. But later we'll explain it also in brief. And then they take the body already inside to the pyramid over there. Now you know one thing. A part of the pyramid complex, they don't build just pyramid and go. They build the pyramid and the mortuary temple and the valley temple. Why? Because before he goes inside the pyramid, he must be mummified already. And that's number one. The mummy is number one element to make sure you go to eternal life. In ancient Egypt, everybody is allowed eternity, but you must have 7 requirements. Number one of them was the mummy, and I'll tell you the rest of them as we get to the end stage. Now that Sphinx that you see over there is the front of the temple, and the axis part over there is another part of the temple as well. So here you see the chairs, by the way. It's a night activity. They call the sound and light show. Some people like to go out at night and do something. They have 3 shows every night. First one is in English. Second one is in 2 different languages like German, French, Chinese, Japanese, Arab. And so they give 3 shows. Every one of them is 1 hour. That is one of the things that if you want to do something at night, you can go, get the car and get here when it's dark. The light is going to illuminate the pyramids and the face of the Sphinx in a particular way to go with a commentary in English that actually comes out of the desert. You don't have earphones. You see the speakers there. It's a panoramic view. You can look it up on the internet, see on YouTube, see if there's something else. Now, if you want to get some nice pictures, we can go up there higher. And that's a commanding view with the French that will have none of the other pictures, just the view and the city. So if you wish to know the
Thank you. Wow.
If you want to make your name on hieroglyphic, you can translate any name.
Wow.
Okay, so Miss Nadia is going to show you. It's very interesting to see. You see, you're asking about the cartouches, you see? Big, medium, small. But see how your name would look like? And when everything here is done by the government as a replica of the original in Egyptian museum. So they're really...
Còn cái đó nhiêu?
Tất cả bằng thẻ đó.
Cái lớn nhiêu?
Cái lớn. Where come from?
Trăm mấy.
New York.
New York.
Cái lớn trăm mấy hả?
21 đồng cái lớn trăm mấy.
This is the
Chơi cái lớn đi.
cartouches.
Chơi
We start to show you the cartouche because in case you need cartouche,
So is that the-
we can have
the
time
price
to
of
make it.
Is it just the price of that or the whole name or?
Yes, this is the price, include the workmanship and everything.
And what about the chain? No chain?
The chain is here. You can choose the chain, but the chain is
mình có
separate.
chơi nhà.
Well, the size of cartouche accord how many letter your name.
18 carat. Okay. And this is how much is this?
Here is the price. This is double side.
This is Egyptian.
Egyptian pound.
We can see it how much.
Vô đó bao nhiêu vậy?
This is a single one.
8.350 bao nhiêu?
This is double one. This is single one. And the size accord how many letter your name.
Em mua một cái cho má, cho bà nội cái cho
Ok.
How much is that?
Nhưng mà má lấy tên gì
US
có?
dollar.
Tên Đinh á. Má lấy tên nhột, tên gì? Má lấy tên gì?
nhầm.
Nhầm.
Coi đã coi bao nhiêu tiền.
Hỏi là quà chứ hình chứ năm.
How many letter your name?
How many letters?
Nhầm là 4.
Nó xài lắm.
Hả?
Không xài thì mua mà đem nhé.
How many letter? 5 letter?
Mai giờ nó.
Ví dụ là sao?
5 letters.
5. Well, this one you can have one side English and one side calligraphy. You can have two names together in the same one. That means eternal life together. The price for this one include everything. $537 US.
Trăm mấy.
Include everything.
Thôi mắt có thôi.
This one you can make initial or nickname. And this is
Chơi cái nhỏ, nếu rẻ chơi cái nhỏ.
Mua cái để làm
Ừ.
$245.
Mua cái đó đi. Bên em để tên anh, bên em để tên anh.
245.
cái này nhỏ để làm initial.
Ừ.
Thôi Tấn Quỳnh 4 người 4 cái rồi 5 cái rồi đủ rồi. Một bên cái.
Bên Tuấn Bình Quỳnh.
Ok.
What about the tiny little one?
You need 20 minutes to make it. Come with me, I'll show you
No,
other
no, hold
things.
on.
We want to see this one too. Ma'am. This one.
Có bán cái kia ở đằng dưới kìa.
Ồ.
Bán gì?
Here you have other variety. You want a double?
18 cái.
This is a double one. And this is a single one. Look at this one. Bismillah. Here you get long life, good luck, love in your name in the other side. This is the same thing but different shape. This is narrow. Also love, luck, protection and a name. So you can choose.
Có nắm mua không? Có nắm làm không làm ấy?
Chị không mua hả?
Chắc không.
Mua thôi. This is initials you said?
Yes. But
Nhưng
you
mà
get
không có
this
đeo
one,
vàng.
Yeah.
Đeo vàng trắng không mà mình đeo nó là cỡ là chặt.
5 letter. This one, 5 letter.
It's just gold. What about over there?
This is white gold.
White gold?
You want silver? I have silver also.
White gold.
This is white gold.
Thôi chắc không làm đâu cô Năm. Đây. She changed her mind. She doesn't want it. She changed her mind. She doesn't want it.
Why?
Cause we don't have enough time, and I don't know.
Before you leave, you got it. Before you leave the place, you got it.
Let me talk to her first. Thank you.
If you don't have time, we can send it to you, the hotel.
Okay, let me talk to her first, okay?
Muhammad. The kitchen here is in the top.
Any more magnets or no?
No,
This is it.
that's it. But also we have the cartouche in silver, if you like to make in silver. So if you want to make a bracelet, earring, we do everything.
Thank you. Sophia cái.
Sophia cái nào?
Có con gái rồi cái ly bắp gì nè, cái gì đó. Anh tên ngay đó đi. Ngay đó đi. Ngay ở đây cái nào?
Lạc đà đi. Nghe rồi cái này hả? Lạc đà đi.
Ok.
Anh trầu cái nào?
Anh trầu. Hả?
Anh trầu cái trộn.
This is a set of pyramid, 3 pyramids together,
Oh, okay.
150 pounds. This is the Sphinx with the pyramid.
Yeah.
You got the one white or dark brown.
Mấy cái này đá quý vậy, nó mang đá mang về nó có cho không á đi. Nhưng mà đá cũng là
Clay.
Have you seen the crystal collection also? You got the pyramid and so many.
tôi lấy cái này trong bịch nè.
Nhưng mà cái đó không có dính gì nữa.
Có.
Mamba đó. Cái này không. 15 đồng.
Cái này thôi. Mua chứ anh trầu.
Anh trầu qua lấy cái lại.
White one.
Anh trầu một cái khua cho nó.
Mua là cái nào?
Cứ quay qua anh coi cái.
Cái này.
No. Mang cái keychain không? Của mình có mua cái magnet gì không?
Thì nó mua nó đi.
Cái này mua vô Sophia cái này nè.
Này hả?
Cái này.
Lạc đà này, Egypt có chữ Egypt không?
Ok, vậy cho Sophia đi theo việc anh trù mua cho anh trù cái gì?
Nó máng đấy. Sao máng cái này đây ha. Rồi xong.
Anh đổ này nè anh.
Này đi.
Thì change. Anh trả thẻ.
This is Tutankhamun, the famous scene. That one there, that's Nefertiti. This is one of the this is that's not Egypt. Same like this, but it's in Berlin Museum in Germany.
Oh.
Most of the pieces are in international museums in Europe somewhere. So they have big pieces from China, India, and Egypt. If we take them back,
Oh my.
they're in trouble. They're still in good shape.